I love the choose jasmine and tea. I'd like to add lots of sugar in mine. I love it. And it was quite sweet. Anybody have that ticket? Come forward and collect your prize. Right there. Come on, bud.
Oh, take it out. That's not long jump. I got it.
And if you guys have food left on your tables, feel free to bring it home. We don't want any leftovers here tonight. So feel free to take all the cupcakes and chocolates and everything you want home and enjoy them. So, and without further ado, we're going to start out with Act 2.
Breakthrough in the case. We've actually finally figured something out. A couple of you were talking to me and said that you noticed that there were a pair of black gloves that removed the necklace. So I followed up on this lead and I talked to Mrs. Fairfax, or Blanche, and she said that she thought that she actually did see two hands wearing black gloves go up behind and remove the necklace. I asked her... I asked her why she had mentioned this earlier, and she said that ever since she heard she was going on a trip, she'd been having dreams like that. So, did any of you get a chance to ask any of the staff or guests any questions? Yes, you there. Sir in the green shirt. Who did you ask?
Ingrid.
Ingrid. Do you think it was Ingrid?
Yes.
Why do you think it was Ingrid?
Well, I heard some people ask her if she had a pair of black gloves, and I think she said she did.
She does have a pair of black gloves. Interesting. Then again, black gloves could also be very easy to come by. That is a good tip. Anyone else? Looking for hands, people. Looking for hands. You there, sir. Did you have a chance to talk to anyone?
Not this time.
All right, then you get to do what my favorite part of police work is: pure speculation.
Oh, the bellhop. The bellhop. It's always the bellhop.
You think it was the bellhop? Yeah, I've heard that saying. Always the bellhop. Always.
Or is it always the bellhop?
I'm pretty sure it's the bellhop.
Bellhop.
Then, what country is Basil from, though? Why did he leave? What's he running from? You, sir in the hoodie. The ex-fiancée. Why her?
Because she has a grudge and no alibi.
Grudge? No alibi? Well, besides the fact that she might have been out of the country. Then again, it is an awfully large coincidence to suddenly show up in a different country and a little out of the way. Personally, I'm still leaning towards Basil. Either way.
The owner of the hotel.
The owner of the hotel.
He's the one who offered to let him keep their stuff in the safe.
Keep their stuff in the safe so he couldn't have
Maybe he needs
something.
money.
He does need money. His hotel is just, I don't know if I can call it a hotel. Well, thanks to all of you for your tips. You've been a great help.
Hello there. I couldn't help but overhear that you were sharing some information with my good friend, Chief Wickfield. I wonder, if it's not too much trouble, if you could just spare me a moment of your time so that I too could pick your collective brains, as it were. So then, what about the tour bus route? Don't you think it's a bit too convenient? The bus just happened to break down, and the whole group just happens to have this neat and tiny little alibi? Come on. What are you doing? Emma, there you are. I was just wasting time, pursuing false leads, developing ridiculous theories. No, I wouldn't say that. Come along now. We've got a case to solve. Unless you'd rather I do this investigation myself. I'm losing you all. Imagine somebody at this hotel stealing a valuable necklace. Miranda, what? Stop that. Just get out of the cave and get over here.
It is disturbing to think that the thief is still here among us. The police will let that old couple with the bright hands after they didn't find the necklace and all the other stolen items. At least we weren't here when it happened, or else we'd be under suspicion too. For going on that trip, you would tell me impression by the police. At least it would have been more exciting than looking at flowers. We missed all the excitement here. Come on, Miss Trumpet. Our tour wasn't all that bad. You have to admit the food was pretty good. Speaking of food, remind me to eat elsewhere until Henry hires a new cook. Dinner was awful.
Everybody left dining room before dessert. I bring it to you here.
Ian Silver, that's clearly Silver.
But it's gluten-free, dairy-free, and flavor-free. Nobody likes my cooking.
Edward, I want to leave the hotel.
Blanche, how many times do I have to explain to you that we have got to stay here until Detective Thornton is able to solve the case for us?
Stay here. Do something else for me.
I promise that when this is all over, I'll take you somewhere else.
And In the meantime, I'll probably die of food poisoning.
Basil, watch where you're going. Ah, Mr. and Mrs. Fairfax, here you are. It's been such a hectic day with the police and all that I've hardly had a chance to see how you're doing. Please consider the rest of your stay here as on the house.
What a bargain. Henry, that's very kind of you. Thank you. Blanche needs a bit of fresh air, so we're going out for an evening stroll. Come on, dear.
How many times did I tell you not to take me here?
She's going.
How many? Count how many?
Miss X, you're back. Where did you disappear to? The police and that detective were looking everywhere for you.
I didn't want to get involved.
We're all involved. It looked mighty suspicious when you disappeared, right as it came your turn to be questioned.
All will be revealed in good time. Mr. Clifford, sir, go and gather up the guests and your staff. I have solved the case.
You have? Where's your assistant, Miss Reed?
Oh, she and I had a little disagreement about who was guilty of the necklace theft, so she quit. She has decided to start up her own agency, but without me, she'll never survive.
I see. I'll go collect my staff and the guests. I don't think I need to ask that tour group to join us, unless it's one of them you've implicated in the theft.
Don't be ridiculous. What do you take me for, a fool? Miss X, where did you disappear to this afternoon? That's my business. Well, I could make it mine. You didn't show up for questioning. Perhaps my thief had an accomplice. Now that would be interesting. Gather round, everyone, and listen to the genius of Phyllis Thornton as she explains the mystery of the stolen necklace.
I knew you could do it. Bravo.
Think nothing of it. It was easy. Just so you know, the police and I struck a deal this morning to see who could solve the case first. As you will testify to them later, I was the first here to explain the solution to you. Therefore, I win the contest. I have brochures and posters that advertise my agency if, in the future, any of you find you needed my expertise and...
Thornton, just get on with it. We're all anxious to hear what you found.
All right, all right. It was... Basil. Basil! Don't act so surprised, Basil. It's always the bellhop who's guilty. Besides, hasn't it struck you people as suspicious that Basil is clearly a native of Timbuktu, yet he bears a quintessentially British name?
Wait, but we just call him Basil because he can't pronounce his real name.
What is his real name?
I told you, we can't pronounce it.
Well, in any event, it doesn't matter. Basil is the mastermind behind the terrible plot to steal Mrs. Fairfax's precious necklace.
I'd like to know how he did it.
According to your testimonies, you were all asleep at 11 o'clock, but Basil admitted he was on the late shift at the front desk. He was the only one in the room with Mrs. Fairfax the whole time. There are 5 witnesses who have testified to this, Mr. and Mrs. Fairfax, as well as the 3 maids. He just pretended he was asleep, just waiting for Mrs. Fairfax to drink the tea he had laced with a sedative, and then he crept behind her and stole her necklace.
I knew it all along, you sneaky little bellhop.
Well,
Did you find the necklace, Detective?
no, not yet, but I know where we'll find it. Come along, Basil.
But Detective,
I'm glad that's over.
Me too. Imagine a little dog guy being a crook.
I don't believe it. I've worked with him for 3 years, and Basil will never do such a thing. I agree with you, Miss White.
Thank you, Officer Black.
Basil isn't guilty. As usual, Thornton has the facts all messed up. It was a tough case to solve, but we finally cracked it.
We were able to narrow down the suspects. Once we had searched the Bright Hands, we realized that, well, they had stolen practically everything else in the hotel. They hadn't stolen the necklace.
We retrieved your missing evidence and suggested that Albert and Ingrid get some treatment for their compulsive behavior.
Then we examined the testimonials we had taken for other motives we could find. Initially, we looked at financial need as a motive.
This motive? Wait a second. Because of his struggling hotel business. arson for his obvious death problem. Financial need could also have been a motive for any of the hotel staff who've been poorly paid for several years.
But then we looked at other possible motives for the crime. Motives such as jealousy and resentment, for example. We also examined a coincidence that was too unusual to ignore.
The coincidence that Audrey Rochester and Edward Fairfax, formerly engaged and both in the United States, would somehow end up in the same remote hotel in England.
One piece of evidence, a lady's diamond engagement ring, also led us to our conclusion.
Audrey Rochester, you are our thief.
What? You've proven nothing.
Confess, Audrey. Don't you feel that that necklace, along with all of Blanche's riches, should rightfully be yours? Your bitterness grew over the years, and you finally decided to exact your revenge upon the Fairfaxes.
We found your diamond engagement ring from Edward, the one you wear in a little chain around your neck, behind the couch. You probably didn't realize it was missing until the next day. By then, it was too late.
It was very careless of you to show off your ring to one of the maids.
Audrey, is this true? You keep the ring I gave you and now you've gone and stolen my wife's necklace?
Yes, Eddie, it's true. I deserve the life that Blanche lives. The wealth, fame, the travel. She took all that away from me.
I can't believe it.
I can. Well, Doyle, take her down to the station. Officer Black, go in search of Miss Rochester's room for the missing necklace. There's only one thing I can't figure out, and it's bothering me. The handkerchief with the initials S.A. Who does it belong to?
I can answer that.
Ah, the mysterious Miss X. So you've come out of hiding, have you?
She must be S.H.E.
No, I'm not S.A., but I'll tell you who is. Stanley Larson. Or should I say Stanley L. Arson, England's notorious arsonist.
That's absurd. Miss X, I think you'd better explain who you are before you start handing out accusations.
I'm Secret Agent X. I've been following the activities of Mr. Arson here for several months, and I finally have enough evidence to come away for a very long time.
Your evidence is a handkerchief with initials on it, Miss X. You can't possibly incriminate someone with that. Besides, have there been any fires since I've been here, Mr. Clifford?
Well, there have been a few in the kitchen, but that's since Basil's taken over.
Mr. Clifford, if all had gone according to plan, there would have been more than a few kitchen fires, wouldn't there?
I'm sure I don't know what you mean.
Miss X, stop stalling and explain your story.
Chief Whitfield, let's re-examine Mr. Clifford and Stanley Arson's possible motives for stealing the diamond necklace.
All right. During our investigation, it became apparent that Henry Clifford's hotel business was under financial strain. And as for Mr. Arson, well, he was apparently in debt and couldn't pay his hotel bill.
Didn't it strike you as a bit odd that Mr. Clifford simply allowed Mr. Arson to stay at his hotel without requiring a cent from him, especially when he needed the money?
Well, yes, that thought did cross my mind.
Mr. Clifford's hotel business was going poorly, so he decided to invite famous and wealthy people to his hotel in hopes that this would bring more business. When this didn't work, he hired Stanley Arson to set fire to his hotel so he could collect the insurance money and relieve himself of the struggling business.
But the advertising did work, didn't it? Blanche and I are here, aren't we?
Ah, yes, but Henry here hadn't counted on that. He messed up his second plan. He'd already hired Stanley, and then you showed up. He couldn't very well still have the hotel burned down while you were here. Now, could he?
I'm glad he didn't.
Well, looks like we're going to have a full house down at the police station. Dort, arrest Mr. Clifford. And Miss X, I'll leave you in charge of arson.
There's someone in jail, Mr. Clifford, that I'm sure you'll be dying to meet.
Aunt Erna? She's already there. It's been like a whole family reunion. Aunt Erna, Uncle Pearl.
Get out of here. You'll be two children.
Your in-laws are there, Mr. Clifford.
No!
Basil, if you don't tell me where that necklace is, I swear I'll wring your neck.
I tell you, detective, I know, have, necklace!
Here it is. Oh, thank you. I was beginning to think I'd never see it again with all these crooks around.
I told you we'd find it. Where was it?
It was in Miss Rochester's suitcase. She was all packed to leave.
Miss Rochester's suitcase? What was it doing there?
Miss Thornton, you're a washout.
But I solved the case first.
You accused the wrong person. Why don't you join me down at the police station? We have a lot of paperwork to do this evening, and we could certainly use some tea and crumpets. We expect weekly delivery, by the way.
That was not part of the deal.
Someone wise once said, you've got to learn to read the fine print.
Officer Black, thank you on behalf of my wife and myself. I realize that your department can't accept any money from us.
No, sir, we're just doing our job.
Edward, perhaps we could hire an interior decorator to redesign the police station. Or donate some new uniforms. Brighter colors and, some new hats.
That's a fine idea, Blanche. We'll get to work on it right away.
Well, thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Fairfax. I can't wait to inform Chief Whitfield of this new development.
Well, it looks like we'll be staying in a different hotel tonight. I'll go see about collecting the bags.
Excuse me, I must admire it.
I cannot believe it. We are unemployed.
Unemployed?
From a job, Basil.
No job?
No job. But that's okay. We'll look for an employer who pays more than Mr. Clifford ever did.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I couldn't help but overhear your conversation, but if you're interested, we need some new hired help. Blanche fired all ours before we left.
I sure would love to work with you, Mr. Fairfax. I mean, work for you, but oh my goodness! Edward, my to understand, you just hired these people.
If you recall, dear, we are in need of new hired help. Don't worry, we'll keep Basil out of the kitchen. Come along, guys. Let's discuss wages. Give me a break.
Hey, where is everybody? You can't get any decent service in this hotel.
Sound, music, and lights. Mr. Sabo. Another round of applause for our two amazing play directors, Mrs. Stark and Mrs. Biswell.
I squeezed through him.
Did you enjoy it?
Yes, it was good.